What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here, and today we're going to be talking about the all-new Glock 48. Before I do that, I want to mention my patron supporters. Thank you guys very much. Because of all your support, I'm able to buy guns and gear and ammo to fire those guns for you guys to see on camera, so I really appreciate that. And because of that, I do a monthly giveaway for guns and gear related stuff, like, for example, the K-Bar knife and the Ontario Rat 3 knife I'm going to be giving away this month. So if you want to be a part of that giveaway, all you got to do is be a patron. Also want to mention ammo.com, longtime supporter of the channel. I leave a link in the description below my videos for a link to their website. If you click the link, you'll get $20 off any order of $200 or more. Now we'll get to the Glock 48. What is the Glock 48? Well, it is a Glock. It is a striker-fired polymer frame pistol like every other Glock made. This is a unique Glock in the way that it is something people have been asking for a long time. It has a 4-inch barrel, and it is a single stack that holds 10 rounds. So imagine if a Glock 19 went on a diet. Like if a Glock 19 took Jenny Craig for 3 months or something like that. So it's not quite as small as a Glock 43. The Glock 48 is just a hair thicker, and obviously it has a significantly longer grip to accommodate that 10-round magazine. Other than being a striker-fired polymer frame 9mm pistol, it comes with a couple of features that Glock didn't have before. Number one, it comes with front slide serrations, which should have came on all the guns, but hasn't till recently. A lot of the new Gen 5s have them now. It also comes with this NVP, whatever coating this is, the silver coating. Basically, it's durable as the previous coating, but now it's two-tone, which is pretty cool. Comes with the standard checkering, as you see right here. Standard magazine release, which is swappable over here in case you're a left hand. No ambidextrous controls, so you're going to have to deal with that if you're a left hand. And it comes with the standard sights, which I have switched out for a Mariglow Spartans because they are shockingly superior. As reliability goes, the Glock 48 is pretty spectacular. I shot 1,000 rounds for this and did have one failure. However, it was a light primer strike, and I was shooting remanufactured ammunition at the time, so I would have to attribute that to ammunition. I also haven't cleaned it since then, nor did I clean it the entire 1,000-round shooting process. So it went 1,000 rounds with no cleaning whatsoever. It had no problem until around 900 rounds or so when I had that light primer strike, and that was, I'm pretty sure, ammunition related. Which I can attribute to that because Glock does have a reputation of reliability that is pretty much second to none. There are not many gun manufacturers on the planet that can tote the same reliability reputation that Glock does. Now, this does come with two 10-round magazines, and it is 20 ounces with an empty mag. That's going to be 2 ounces heavier than the Glock 43X, and it's going to be about 3 or 4 heavier than the Glock 34. I actually have both of them here for representation. The Glock 43 here is going to be its main competitor. I'm going to have a versus video on this coming out here pretty soon between this, the Glock 34, or the Glock 43 and the 43X. So I'm not going to compare them too much, but I did want to give you an idea of how much more slide is on the 43 or on the 48 here. So I just wanted to do a little visual representation. I've changed the sights and they're both identical. So the idea behind having a longer barrel and why that would be superior to something like a 43X is that it adds a little bit of velocity. Now, it also adds a little bit of sight radius, but I like the idea of the velocity a little bit more. With smaller barrels, especially the 4 to 3 inch, you actually get more than just a little more power. You actually get a more consistent hollow point expansion. Most people who carry a carry gun carry hollow points, right? This is actually the magazine from my 43X, which is my carry gun. So with a little more velocity, you have more consistent hollow point expansion, you get a bigger hole, and because on a smaller sized pistol that isn't 9mm, you're not going to get a lot of hydrostatic shock, so you're really working with the hole that you're putting in the guy. So you want to put a big enough hole in the right area to make the guy stop doing whatever he's doing. Guy, girl, I don't want to be sexist. But the point is that this helps you consistently make a slightly bigger hole because your bullets are going to be expanding a little bit more. Beyond that cold hammer forged 4-inch barrel, you're also getting a little bit better sight radius, and that does help you line up your sights a little bit better to theoretically give you a little bit more accuracy. Now, the problem I have with that is I didn't really see a huge accuracy increase between this and the 43X. I also have a lot of reps behind firearms, and I also shoot a lot of handguns, a lot more than most. So does that mean that you will see an accuracy increase with the 48? I don't know. A lot of people on my social media have said that they do believe the 48 is more accurate. As I said, I personally have not seen that. I shoot them very similar, and I shoot them very similar speeds. So for me personally, the 4-inch sight radius doesn't help me out that much. The 4-inch slide should help decrease a little bit of the recoil as well, but I also have not seen that. I shoot the 43X very similar in speed and accuracy to the 48. But there is no denying that 1/2 inch of barrel is going to increase velocity, and it's going to help hollow point expansion. So that is definitely a valid reason to pick this gun up. So accuracy is pretty good. It's possible to hit at 100 yards, fairly easy to hit at 50 yards with this gun. And for a concealed carry gun of this size, I find that pretty reasonable. Now that accuracy is extremely handicapped by the sights that come on the gun. As you can see, that's why I changed the sights, because the high definition front sight allows you to focus on it, and it makes it a little bit faster. Not to mention these are steel night sights, so they are more durable, more reliable, and you can use them in all hours. And people that attack you, they don't just do it between 9 and 5, so sometimes it's nice to have night sights. But what really hampers the accuracy of the firearm is the damn trigger. Now, I had a significantly different trigger between the 48 and the 43X. I had around an 8-pound trigger with the 43X, and I had an 11-pound trigger with the 48. And Glocks, if you've ever measured them, are pretty famous for that. I get some Glocks that are 6 pounds, some that are 7 pounds. They're all advertised at 5.5, but 11 pounds is probably the heaviest and dirtiest and nastiest trigger I've ever gotten for a Glock, and that happened to be in this Glock 48. So it was actually pretty difficult to shoot. And I fixed that in my 43X by putting a Johnny Glock trigger in it. You can't even tell, but that decreases the pull weight a little bit and shortens the reset and all that good stuff. So I actually put this lower, because they are interchangeable, on my 48 slide, and I did shoot the 48 much better. So I really think a lot of the accuracy issues I had were just that shitty trigger that Glock puts in it from the factory. All right, so now we're gonna take the 48 and we're gonna shoot it at 50 yards. One of the downsides of shooting at 50 yards today is, even with my blingy ass gold targets, I'm having a hard time seeing, because like I said, we're in Sleepy Hollow here now, because it's gotten completely foggy. So I'll do the best I can. Fairly white background, whitish fog, white sights. That's one of the reasons why I really prefer a high definition front sight. It really gives you that contrast that you're looking for a good sight picture. So we'll see how we do. Not too bad so far. So accuracy is good if you change the trigger, or if you just get used to it, because if it's your only gun, you'll definitely get used to it and it won't be an issue. The problem I have is I shoot a lot of custom guns. I shoot a lot of different handguns. So if I go from a 3-pound trigger to a 5-pound trigger, not that big of a deal. But if I move up to a 11-pound trigger in a small gun that's very easy to pull off target, if you're smashing that trigger really fast, it can be an issue with accuracy. Now we'll get to the texture here, and I think this is the worst texture Glock's ever put out. It's not the Gen 5 texture, which a lot of reviewers have said. They said, well, it's just the Gen 5 texture. I disagree with that. I have guns that have the Gen 5 texture, and this is much smoother. It's the same idea, same pattern, but this is so smooth, in my opinion, that it's just, I really didn't like it. Now, I like a lot of aggressive texture on all my guns. I mean, this is my wife's carry gun. This is the Glock 34, but it was mine before hers, and you can see there's some aggressive stippling. This is my current carry gun. It has rubber Talon grips on it because I haven't got stippling done yet. You get what I'm trying to say. I like a lot of texture, but so take that with a grain of salt. I think a lot of you will probably like this, and I think it will be very comfortable for carry, especially if it's rubbing on your stomach or your back or something like that all day. But for me, I would like a little bit more, so it really glues in my hand, because if I'm in a situation where I've got to pull this gun and use it, I'm probably not going to be thinking tight grip, all that good stuff. So I want to make sure my gun works for me and I don't have to work around things I don't like with my gun. So if it were me, I would add a rubber Talon grip of some kind or get it stippled. You ready?
Yep.
Had a dead round there. So I originally thought this Glock had just a dead round, just a a light primer strike, but I'm not really sure. I kind of fixed it so fast, I don't really know what the malfunction was, but when I picked up the magazine, look at that weird shit.
It wasn't ejecting rounds?
Yeah, I think the firing pin hit the primer and just didn't go off is what I thought. I'll have to check the footage, but then when I picked the magazine up, I get this thing going on. So I don't know if this happened when I dumped the magazine, which is certainly possible, or if it happened when I, you know, in the gun maybe. Let's see if we can run it here. Huh, weird. Another niche I feel this gun really fits in that some people aren't talking about is not only is it going to be a Glock 40 or Glock 43 that's a little bit more accurate, but it also is going to be a very good gun for people that have magazine restrictions. So why carry a 19 when you can carry this, which is smaller and lighter, if you can only carry 10 rounds in the first place? Let's say you live in New York and you don't want to carry a magazine restricted 19 because it is thicker, for sure, and it is a little bit harder to carry. And those guns are going to be a little bit easier to shoot, but you carry the gun a hell of a lot more than you shoot it. And if you want something a little bit easier to carry, but you want that longer sight radius, and you are in a magazine restricted state, I see this as one of the best options for carry. Now, probably not for California, because I don't know if these have got on your registration list yet. Think that for New York and for other states like that that have just the magazine restriction, I think this is going to be a really good choice for you guys to carry a slimlined single stack full size gun, basically, kind of in the realm of a lightweight 1911 Commander. That's kind of what this reminds me of. It's obviously a lot lighter and obviously a lot smaller, but it's kind of a single stack, it's kind of the single stack Glock that people have been clamoring for literally years. The other thing I think is funny about this gun is, for any of you guys that collect a lot of firearms, does this look familiar at all? Because I did a review of a gun almost exactly this 2 years ago. The XDS, I think, the single stack 9mm Springfield XD. Now, Springfield isn't very popular in the gun community right now, and understandably, they did a lot of underhanded stuff that I don't appreciate myself, which is why you don't see a lot of Springfield reviews anymore, even though they do make some excellent products. There's a lot of polymer pistols that I would consider better than the XD, but the XD did definitely make this gun several years ago. I mean, it was a 10-round, single-stack, 4-inch gun that even had this color scheme. I mean, the one I reviewed 2 years ago even had a silver frame with, or a silver slide with a black grip. So I thought that was pretty funny, because Glock guys go crazy about everything. You know, the 45 and the 19X were just revolutionary because they had a short slide with a long grip, like the 1911 Commander didn't do that before. This is revolutionary because nobody's done a single stack 4-inch before, except for 1911s and XDs and all the other gun companies that came before it. I just gotta throw a little shade at the Glock fanboys, because I love you guys. No other gun exists besides Glock, and I get that. But it's a good gun. It's very reliable. It's very accurate. It's not my personal favorite because I think the slide is a little bit longer than I need for a carry gun, because I shoot the 43X just as fast, just as accurate. So honestly, that just gets in the way. And if you carry appendix, this gets in the way of something that is pretty important. And if you even if you carry 3 or 4 o'clock, you don't need a longer barrel if you're not going to use it and it's not going to be effective. But other than that, I mean, other people could have different opinions, and I've seen different opinions. Other people have said that the 48 for them is more accurate. And if that's for you, then definitely get this gun. I see nothing wrong with it, other than the fact it's just not that perfect for me. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.